All right, y'all. July 8th, 8:29 a.m. Um, QQQ gets a screen. We are bouncing off of daily support, 699.77 off QQQ. XLK is doing the same. Seeing a bit of bullish divergence, surprisingly, on the broader market. So, major question we have so far is today going to be a green day, or is the market going to switch up and fall flat? Because it's in a very strong downtrend on QQQ and XLK. So, and I'll just show you what I looked at here. Yeah, very strong downtrend for the past 5, 6 sessions. One, two, three, four, 4 or 5 sessions. Could be a bit of sideways action. We're live. Market just went live, so strong downtrend. Be at a point where we're bumping our head here at the top and could continue lower. So we'll see. We're staying away from SPY for right now. We'll keep an eye on it. SPY is a little bit sideways. If you're going off the past 2 sessions, a little bit of a downtrend. Going off the past 3, 4, 5 sessions, it's way more sideways. So we're staying away from anything that is on the New York Stock Exchange for that reason. We will not be trading any stocks on the New York Stock Exchange. So QQQ has a very strong downtrend, and so does XLK. So we'll be paying attention to those areas of the trade market. All right, so we're live. Market's pushing up. More so trying to establish a bias these first 15, 20 minutes, see if the market reveals anything to us. Um, Naturally, we're getting a push up, which is somewhat expected. We are at daily support for QQQ. We are at 4 hour and hourly support for XLK. So that does mean something, or it is about to mean something, but it could also mean that we are just pushing ourselves to uh, another lower high, and we are about to continue to push lower. So we will be watching. We will be watching and seeing if we can get seeing what we come up with. Mhm. Very explosive out the gate, as expected. Very explosive moves. And SPY, although it's sideways, you can kind of make a case for it's 3 days, but you can make a case for a double bottom overall on that sideways motion over the course of 3 trading sessions. So you can say it's at a bottom right now, maybe seeing a bullish divergence with a double bottom. So maybe we are I'm a little inclined to lean bullish just based off those three things, off those three QQQ SPY, and I guess it would help if I explain what I'm looking at instead of keeping y'all on one screen. So um, this is Tuesday the 7th here. and 3 a.m. right here, right here. Hard drop down between those two pivots there, but as you accumulation. So as it's plummeting down here, a lot of bullish activity, a lot of buying activity between those two pivots there. So that's looking on QQQ, SPY, as promised, sideways, but between these two pivots here, um, you can make the case for bullish divergence over these 3 or 4 sessions. 5 minutes in, market's calming down. But yeah, you can make a case over the course of those 3 or 4 sessions. And XLK, um, same thing as QQQ. They're looking identical. Um, this was, yeah, the 7th at 3 a.m. So these two pivots here, a lot of buying going on as it's continuing to accumulate and push down, a little overreaction here. So um, leaning, getting a little bit of a bullish bias, but we are bumping into oversold territory with that, um, a lot of stocks reacting the same way. A lot of bullish setups from what I saw, a lot of overreaction to the downside. So we're just kind of letting the market relax and chill and catch up, breathe. But yeah, as far as XLK, 176.31 is where the support is for, for XLK. So that's my broader analysis, broader market analysis. I'll start doing it at the beginning of each video. I used to do that a long time ago, but I think I got out of the habit of it and stopped. I kind of got away from the broader market. But yeah, we'll dive deeper into it. Let's see if this is sustainable. See if it loses any magic. Now that we're about 7, 8 minutes in. Crossing above the 50 on QQQ. SPY as well. I think we're in good hands here. I'm leaning a little more bullish. We'll let 8:45 get here. Man. One thing I can see a continuation to the downside on QQQ and XLK as it is right near the 50 QQQ. So even though we have that bullish divergence in the pre-market, the volume can always switch up and wreak havoc. So I'm kind of waiting to see how this 15 minutes, how these next 6, 7 minutes go. See how the market wants to kind of finish up. The bullish divergence on the broader market is looking solid. Candles might finish strong here. About 5 more minutes. And we'll have a solid bias. I think I'm a little more inclined with the bulls at this point. Yeah, the bulls may have a case here. Looking a little more clear. We'll give it the 5 more minutes before we make the mind shift to kind of start fishing. Yeah, that's pushing hard. Um, I'll probably have about 7 to 10 stocks to pay attention to. Market is definitely leaning bullish. I think it's very biased right now. QQQ is pushing up. So is XLK. I think that bullish divergence is legit on three. So I think we have a bias. I'm gonna give it 4 more minutes. I don't jump the gun too early. I want that. Um, let's see. I guess we can start looking. We're a little early, but I definitely have a bias right now. All right, Palantir. No. MRVL. We definitely have a bias. MRVL is going through the roof right now. CLH. There's no question about who's biased right now. AMD. Yeah, we're definitely having some strong breakouts here at the top. Oracle. And they are pushing. Still got to get us a little more time to form the bias. It's not complete yet. HPE. Just kind of fishing around, see if we have any overreactions from the stocks. But HPE exploded. Don't see much. Um, Intel, Tesla. I think Meta's probably the closest thing that I can see to overreaction. Curious to see the next 5 to 15 minutes come from Meta. Possibly see an overreaction in that area here. If it continues to push down, it's at a -12. How much time we have? A minute and 20. Curious. Meta's got me curious. We traded yesterday and went very solid, very well. Um, Interesting. somewhat of a downward channel. Almost looks sideways, almost. Like it's reacting off that hourly and 4 hour resistance to the downside as of right now. Could be an overreaction, but could be a breather. That's interesting. Let's see. What we got 25 seconds. Let's focus on the broader market. We still gotta let this bias form. Looks like solid push by the bulls here. It all looks justified. 10 seconds. I'm curious. That has got me curious. Okay. Let's see. First 15 minutes out the way. I think we got a solid push by the bulls. So we're bullish bias right now. Um, One thing that I saw that was close was Meta. So we're only focusing on bullish setups. And Meta was close. QQ is still going crazy. So Meta gets the rug pull here. All right, so Meta's overreacting. Um, it's constantly pushing down right now. But past, yeah, since the second, it's been in a small channel uptrend. This could be a channel in more bearish behavior. We could get that. But as of right now, this is what we're looking for. We're looking for this to be an overreaction, if it is indeed one. We don't have support nowhere in sight. Um, Potentially 60403 is a support. Um, Previously resistance. I see this is June 1st, previously resistance, kind of retesting that line area right now. It could be support as of yesterday's trading session. We'll see. We shall see. It looks a little more potentially sideways than anything else. So we'll see. Um, we're just going off the past three sessions, small channel uptrend. We'll see. Um, we'll keep eyes on everything. Now it has some strong volatility, but let's check back in on them. Yeah, those markets finishing up. And markets moving really great. Amazon kind of popped up out of nowhere. Let's check on it. Amazon was a strong uptrend. It's more so channeling right now. Yeah, Amazon is still sideways. Yeah, could be a slaughter type channel for Meta. So we're only riding with bullish setups. Have to wait for one to arise though, that's for sure. Volatility is at a negative 12 just about. Yeah, 12.35. Very strong push down. It's 15, 20 minutes. Very strong push down. Very curious to see how that matters for the next 10 minutes. We're going to continue to pay attention to the broader market as well, because this 10 minutes could affect the broader market. Could lose a lot of steam. And if that be the case, we have to shift bias. So we're going to be watching. FCX pops up out of nowhere. Let's see. Very strong downtrend and another bullish bias type environment right now. Hmm. You can make the case that FCX looks exactly like QQQ and XLK, bullish divergence, while in the strong downtrend. Yeah, you can make that case. On the volatility though. Let's keep an eye on this broader market. I'm curious to see how this finishes. We got about 9 minutes. I think we're pretty safe for a bullish turnaround. Let's go back to Meta. Meta had the best reaction so far. Meta didn't quite push down enough. That does worry me. Anybody else had a no? Not really. No, it's pushing down. Could be some bearish continuation. Let's see how this finishes out here. SPY losing a lot of steam on its hourly candle. It could turn around. QQQ and XLK still remaining strong above the 50. No, not quite of a curl, but that's gonna be interesting to watch. See if we have to switch our bias at all. Um, could just be giving us a little bit more of a downtrend. It'll be interesting to see. But for right now, Meta gets the main screen, which we actually need Meta to push down a little bit more um, to kind of give us that deeper in that zone. Um, it would actually give us like a slight divergence on screen one, but we'll stay involved here, stay active with it. I hope we got like 7 minutes. Yeah, I think QQQ and XLK are good for a bullish bias. Um, SPY lost a little steam, but I think we're good to remain with the bullish bias. Kind of waiting at 9 o'clock to finish, but I don't think 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes is going to destroy a whole hour of a candle. Um, what we need is um, we need for Meta to push down a lot more. Just a little bit more of a push or an overreaction. So it kind of remains in play here for the strategy. But while we're waiting, because it's pushing up, let's see if we can keep. Let's check on everybody else. Uh, let's do another one. You know what's crazy? Palantir is kind of giving us a deep push. It is. It's giving us a very deep push. It's 5 minutes for Palantir is going to matter. Let's keep eyes on Palantir. Let's look at it on screen one for sure. Oh yeah, Palantir is in like a weekly support, and I'm seeing a divergence all over the place. Very strong uptrend. It's taking a very deep breather though. But I like the way Palantir is looking. It's currently in a downtrend, but that's for today. We're at 4 hour support and weekly support for Palantir. That's very nice. Um, Palantir is at 1.7, so it's got to drop a little bit more. Um, I'm willing to kind of open up the floodgates for Palantir. It's kind of it's at a very serious bottom, so it's gonna be interesting to see. Some volume spikes here. Let's check back on the broader market. Losing a little bit of steam, still hanging around that 50 line, so that's something to be careful of as it could lose steam, but that we'll keep an eye on that. I'm looking to see if it's some kind of bearish continuation or if we're gonna reach support. That is a major question to ask. Um, right now, the bullish divergence on screen one for QQQ and XLK looks pretty solid in play. That be the case. Um, Palantir and Meta's definitely in play. Meta's definitely more in play than Palantir is. The volatility on screen two is pattern is just small. It's the only thing I don't like about Meta. Not the greatest setup. It's not tall enough, so that worries me. Um, Palantir doesn't quite have the volatility, so let's see if we can find something else that will give us a strong move here. Let's go to see if we can find a third option of some sort. I think we're kind of tightening up our options here. We need both. We need the market to still kind of plummet a little bit more. Let's see, MRVL. Very, very, very solid divergence by MRVL on screen one. Did you get a push down on screen two? We're getting that extra push down that we wanted. MRVL is pushing to the upside. Nothing we can do with that. We'll keep a third window open, but um, I do like that. I do like that. Bullish divergence on screen one from MRVL. Let's move on. Um, I was early finishing, so we're definitely got a bullish bias. Let's stick with it. We got like a minute, less than a minute left. QQQ and XLK pushing up pretty well. Let's see if we get that bias to stick. Um, See if Meta's gonna give us that second wind of a push down. 15 seconds. Actually, yeah. Meta can just push down a little bit more on the EFI on screen too. I think we're in serious play. And I think we did. All right, we're keeping eyes on Meta. Um, let's touch around a little bit more. It's now 9 o'clock. We have our bias. We're bullish in CLH. Let's see where Palantir landed. Palantir is still kind of pushing down. Not enough volatility on Palantir. So I think we gotta let it go. Meanwhile, Meta is still very much so solid. So we've got to let Meta kind of play around a little bit lower here, just a little bit more. But I think Meta's very much so in play. Um, Potentially see a very small but impactful bullish divergence on screen one. We'll see if it continues to shape that way, but Meta's right where we need it to be at. Um, However, we do need to see an uptrend of some sort on a LSMA. It's gonna be it's gonna be pretty impactful to kind of see. Um, just kind of reach over 200,000 in volume. We'll let Meta do its thing. We're still kind of searching around. We got time. Let's see. Uh, let's see. NCLH. Nothing. AMD. Did we get anything from AMD? Nothing from AMD. Oracle. Nothing on Oracle. HPE. Okay. Pre-market. Let's try regular. Nothing new. CrowdStrike. That's new in Google. CRWD. Alphabet made a move. Did it? Did it really? No, it's got to do a whole lot more dropping, but I like the way Alphabet is looking. How's it looking on screen one? Mm, it's doing the same thing that is Meta doing that? Kind of doing the same thing that Meta's doing, kind of floating to the bottom a little bit, which is kind of what we need. But VWAP was getting tested. Right? Okay. Yeah, just look, I'm testing the bias every now and then, but we're looking solid. With bullish setups, I always worry about the trend after the first 30 minutes of the volume. I always worry about that because there's so much the the trend has to pick up so much after that volatility on the first 30 minutes that I'm always worried the trend is never going to pick up to the upside for the LSMA on a 30 second. So, right now, Meta and Google are leading the charge for the bullish bias, which is surprising because those are very strong stocks. So, um, actually, take that back. I was looking at the wrong. Is that now? Let me look at Meta here. Meta's giving us a strong move right now. No, no way. We still got, yeah, we got a lot going on. Let's look. I can see potential divergence. No, no way. It's potentially oversold. It's moving right now. In the QR code, 5. Yeah, we're pretty much getting everything we need from Meta. Um, screen one. Um, we got 605. 605. That trend is trending downward. I am worried on that LSMA. We got pretty much everything we need. I am worried. Everything but the LSMA trend is all what we have here on a 30 second. That worries me. 84% on the trade. We need a $5 move. Divergence is there. That trend is not there to 79%. The trend is not there. I'm not taking it. Protect your peace. The trend is to the downside. It's not to the upside at all. Let's stay out of this one. Let's stay disciplined. I want to remain disciplined. If I'm happy to be wrong. We did get most of the move though. Um, I just can't trust that. The LSMA on the 30 second never kind of led me wrong. I see the spikes of volume, but that the LSMA it don't. I trust that indicator has gotten has I'm starting to trust it a whole lot more. Um, and so because that trend is trending to the downside, I trust that indicator a whole lot to where it won't steer me wrong. If it was like the institutional buying, you know, I'd be like, all right, maybe we can roll with it a little bit. But it is, I mean, it meets most of the criteria. The 5 minute relative volume is above the 5 minute LSMA, but that 30-second trend is to the downside. I just don't see it. So let's take a look at, yeah, we're reaching the oversold top territory. The counter trend trading is pretty rough. But no, we're gonna stick to the plan here. Let's look at Google. Google gave us a solid move as well. Um, and that LSMA trend is trending to the downside as well. So happy to be wrong. Yeah, I'm happy to be wrong. Just on the trend is to the downside. It's not to the upside. We don't take it. We have to learn when to not take the trade. And that LSMA is a great tool to do so. Getting some resistance here. Screen one. If that LSMA trend on the 30 second changes for some reason, I'll be happy to jump in, but it's trending down. It's definitely trending to the downside. So QR code is about to confirm here. We probably got 20 seconds. It might make a push. Stay out of the way. That trend is not ready. We're in a good place though. Volume is low on, actually it's pretty low on that is pretty low on Google. Google could make a move. Yeah, we can't trust that. We will not trust that. That's gonna struggle to the top. That's not what we want. Now Google, this was at this is pretty low too. I think 35, 3,200. It's pretty low. Getting some solid rejection. Could just be temporary, but the overall market is pushing down as well. MRVL, I ain't supposed to be watching that, but um, intrigued, very much so. Yeah, we just don't take that trade. I'm happy to sit out. I'm happy to be wrong and happy to sit out on Meta. Could just be something else forming here, but until that 30-second trend changes, out of the way for sure. Um, the trend is trending to the downside, so it's a little bit rough right here. Let's see if anybody else is giving us any kind of indication here. Anything new? Intel. Let's check on Intel. Nothing on Intel. Google's still kind of pressing down a little bit. Google might shock us. Tesla, Oracle. Yeah, I just see that trend pushing down. I think Meta is a very good candidate. I love it. I love what it's doing, but it's definitely when you look at the volume, it's definitely decreasing on the 5 minute bar for bar starting at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock was a very solid move. It was a very solid run, but it's decreasing, getting a large spike in bearish volume. The volume's got to look a lot different. I think that's what's going to keep us out of a lot of trades. Maybe it's just not ready to clear out right now. It's 9:15 already, or 9:13 specifically, but QR code hasn't even confirmed yet. All right, we're officially out of that zone for Meta to take the trades at 70% on the high probability. So it wasn't looking that great to begin with, honestly. The trend is going down. I think this is a sucker bet, almost like an entrapment. We'll see. Let's check on the rest of the market. Um, I think it's in a bit of a pullback phase for the bull. Still sitting around that support. I think it's gonna catch support, but I think we have a while. Yeah, I think we sit out of it. Very good discipline. They did not break the rule of the LSMA, did not jump in that trade. I thought about it. I more than thought about it. I almost did. I had the option chain pulled up. I was on the verge. Stick to the game plan. Stick to the rules. I've been doing good. About 30 minutes. About 30 minutes. I can still see potential. It's got a lot to do right now. Before we jump in a trade, it's got a lot to do, a lot of work to do. And I'm talking about trend wise. The trend is still down to the low side here. Gotta make sure that we remember that. I want to make sure that we are aligned. Let's check on SPY. We can look at SPY in a minute. Yeah, SPY's losing all kind of credibility right now. Um, is it's very interesting. No, okay. Very good discipline. Good job. Very proud of me. I'm very proud of the move I just avoided. That would have ruined a lot of my confidence. But you got to stick to the rules for sure. Let's check on. I'm still checking on my bias, make sure I didn't miss anything. I don't think I did. I see bullish divergence. It's okay in screen one. The run could be over, but I don't see any other correlation. Um, very strong candle from 8, the 8 a.m. candle on the hourly, which supports that move. SPY, I can see attempting to make a push down, but SPY is sideways, so we're not watching SPY. But QQQ, very much on the downtrend. Um, Possibly just another lower high, but I, I can see that. I can see that that bullish divergence on QQQ and XLK are so aligned. Let's shop around because we can't wait on Meta and Google forever because they're not giving us anything. Anything new pop up? Um, let's watch Amazon. Amazon kind of had a dip. Amazon had a nice dip. Didn't quite dip all the way, but uh, oh yeah. What y'all think? I'm trying to keep an eye on a broader market. I think we have a solid case of a pullback right now that's happening in the broader market. So I'm still bullish. I'm not taking my premise off that. If I'm wrong, I would just be happy to be wrong. But So we're gonna remain with a bullish bias. CRWD. No, that's not. No, that's actually pretty deep. Our CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike is making some significant moves. CRWD. Oh, it is definitely in a downtrend. Oh, that thing is plummeting. That is ridiculously plummeting. Yeah, no, we got nothing on that. CrowdStrike, that's gonna be rough. It's gonna be a rough go. Um, Meta making a strong pivot. Let's get eyes back on Meta. Yeah, no, that trend is still nothing. Just have nothing on the trend. I can't get behind that. I just really can't. I'll have to study this. Um, if this does in fact work out. I mean, it just may be an outlier. I've seen it work when the trend is to the upside, but I just can't get behind this move right now. And it very well could go to the sky, but QR code is trying to flip and go green. It's already too late for the high probability percentage. It's only at 59%. It'd be a terrible trade to take, honestly. Um, Probability is not in my favor, and it could just very well be a pullback and kind of work out. But there's just no way. There's no way I can chase this trade. QR code is all green. Where we at 921. You can definitely see there's not much. You know what? I take that back. The price disparity is not that much different, honestly. It looks like a double bottom. You know, it always worries me. That's probably why it's not giving me everything I need. Um, I mean, very well could work out. It looks like a double bottom. You can kind of see it's one of those where I just have to kind of let it go because it's not exactly it's not a great setup. And that's honest. I'm just not catching the kind of the disparity, the price disparity. It's not an overreaction. We don't have an overreaction. Not clearly. Not a clear overreaction from Meta. So I'm good with letting this go. It's gonna be a choppy road to the top. I think it kind of pushes up a little bit throughout the rest of the day, but I just think it's gonna be a very slow, hard, grimy chop to the top. And so we got about 20 minutes. I'm not changing my premise from the broader market. Um, yeah, the QQQ and XLK are shooting to the moon. Very much so a strong flip to the upside. I just don't see anything else that's giving us a strong indication of a push to the upside besides Meta and Google. And let's check back on Google. Google's got some work to do, but um, Google's actually, you can make a case for it. A strong uptrend, kind of a pullback, kind of niche. Just not kind of giving us that lower downside here, kind of bottoming out. But yeah, no, I don't. Besides those two, Adobe pops up out of nowhere. See what Adobe's talking about. Um, Adobe is a little side. Adobe sideways, so nothing from Adobe. Yeah, you just don't have much price disparity. Which for me that means like Um, if I was looking at a divergence pivot, this would need to be the first pivot, and the second pivot would need to be down here at a very strong angle. That's a disparity to me when you've got that much of a angle down and the bulls are buying. That's a very strong disparity. As of right now, these are kind of equal, like a double bottom. So I can't really get with that as far as a divergence, and that's why probably the move isn't reacting as strongly as I would like it to. That's all that matters. And even though we're getting a push up, and this might push up for sure, I just can't get behind the move. I just can't get behind it. And we are getting a QR code of all green. Um, Relative volume is extremely low. This is going to be a slow chop to the top. We don't want those kind of moves. We don't want to be involved in those kind of trades. And I'm happy to be wrong. If it continues to push up and go to the moon, I'll be excited because I'm watching the right stock. But I'm good. Like I don't have to place a trade. We're on a good move, good shift. LSMA is to the downside. That premise still don't change at all. That trend is trending down. We got about 20 minutes. I'm happy to walk away and know that I stuck to all my rules and know that I know that what I'm saying is a rough road ahead to the upside. This looks more like a double bottom. Not a lot of price disparity. Volume did push down pretty well. But I think it's just gonna be a rough go. It's gonna be a very rough go. Anybody else? Let me see. I don't think I ever looked at PayPal, but I usually don't have the mindset to give PayPal the attention it wants. Yeah, not no volatility on PayPal. Um, let's check back in on Palantir. I think it was missing some volatility, but yeah, it's still missing volatility. It actually had now that is a price disparity I could have rocked with. But the pattern is very small. Check back in on the bias. The bias came right back. Yeah, Market's a little upset right now. I want to say upset. It's more like almost looks indecisive, a little choppy. Shout out to the LSMA. Definitely kept me out of this trade today. Still downward sloping. It's over with. Market's a little choppy right now. It's okay. It gets to be choppy. We had a very strong 2 days of push. It's Wednesday, midweek. Do we have economic report tomorrow? Tomorrow and Friday? It could be the reason why it's so choppy. What's today? The 8th? Yeah, job claims at 8:30 tomorrow. Everybody waiting on that. And you got the CPI and core CPI and yeah, you got all those things at 8:30. Everybody's waiting on Thursday and Friday is what I would come to some kind of conclusion on. The reason why we're so undecisive. Um, and not a lot of reaction, overreaction type movement. So that'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch Thursday and Friday. Tomorrow will be a short day. I'll be leaving at 9:30. So Our work meeting, unfortunately. Definitely looks like a pullback though. I think we'll get a little bit of a push up today. Like I think this move will continue to push up, but we are at low volume for sure. Yeah. Shout out to the LSMA. That that's a solid indicator. And that trend is going to the downside. Mhm. I just think we chop and continue down. It's like a pullback for sure. Um, it could continue to push down. Um, I just don't see it. I don't see it. Even though it is a very much so very strong downtrend. We can at least take a. This is when the boredom starts kicking in. AVGO. Let's see. Start looking at bearish setups, but I don't believe in it. Yeah, AVGO is pretty solid. Got a lot going on. Yeah, it does. It's a lot going on. HPQ, AVGO. Wow. AVGO is well over 4 hour resistance. Very much so a very strong reaction here. You had that same double bottom, but it had a very strong push to the upside in the pre-market. That is insane to think about. Um, just kind of getting some ideas on the other side of the aisle. Bill, Bill had a massive sideways. LRCX, kind of see the arm, the net. Yeah, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna go against the bias. 'Cause that bias is real. You're gonna run into a freight train. Yeah, we sticking with the bias. I know I said I was gonna pick across the other side, but Marvel will get back on the other side of the fence. Marvel's doing both. I think it ran up that just that much. It ran up. I don't think you get much. So let's just stick to the code here. The bias is to the upside, so I think Meta and Google. This just keeps. I think Boeing popped up out of nowhere. Um, no, Boeing didn't quite get to where it needed to go, but Boeing's not doing much. Yeah. I got nothing. We got 10 minutes. That's what I got. I got 10 minutes left. Market's not budging. Yeah, we're not gonna go against the bias though. Um, I think directionally, I think we continue to push up. Maybe right after 10, that, that lunch hour, power hour, I think we push up. I just don't see anything else to kind of shoot with it. I'd say it was close, but not enough. FCX, nothing on FCX. Oracle, nothing on Oracle. And it's on the New York Stock Exchange, so we stay away from those today. Yeah, I got nothing. Intel, let's check back in on Intel. No, maybe the market wants to continue to the downside. Maybe my, I can't get behind it. You see what you see. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I can't switch. Yeah, that bias. I can't take my eyes off that bias. I gotta stick with the bulls. I know what I'm seeing. Trading the chart that's in front of me, so I know I have a bias, but VWAP is getting tested. Yeah. Yeah, that bullish bias is real. I see the bullish divergence all day on QQQ and XLK. So we sticking with the bullish bias. We just don't have anything to trade, and that's okay. We got about 7 minutes. We'll do one more scoop around, but uh, MRBL kind of ran up so much it kind of did its thing. Ship on Amazon. Amazon's having a weird sideways type reaction right now. It's okay. We got nothing. We didn't miss out on anything. I think everything worked out the way it was supposed to. I think market's in a pullback state right now. The market is still in a downtrend. I think the market is kind of completing its mission here to the downside. Um, see if we can. I think it's too late to kind of pull the trigger. Only 5 minutes left. We can try to look at some of the bearish setups. Honestly, didn't like any of them. Now that the market is plummeting. AMAT is kind of giving us a solid move. Mm, you can kind of make a case for bearish divergence here. That move would have had to come at 8:45 ish. Yeah, yeah, I see it all. Yeah, you had to make that move at 8:45. My bias was still bullish though. And still make the case for a bullish bias, honestly. Yeah, we just got nothing. I don't think we I mean, let's see. Yeah, you can make the case for a push down. I mean, Bears kind of having their way right now. I think it's entirely too late to jump in and trade on AMAT. We've only got 4 minutes, so I don't see myself jumping in and trade. But volume's dead. But you've got to pretty much, yeah. Um, or, yeah, we've only got 3 minutes left, so call it a day for sure. Um, Bears kind of had their way, hour and a half. I don't think I missed anything on the bias. You can see the bullish divergence on QQQ and XLK. So, and that 30 minutes, the first 30 minutes did shoot up pretty well. So, I don't think I missed anything. I think the market is I think the individual stocks got to catch up to the rest of the market, but we're good. If nothing lines up, we stay out of the way. Um, Having a very solid week, a very solid week. So let's keep it that way. Market does look like it wants to continue to go down, but is it arm? Arm. Arm is having a ridiculous drop right now. Seeing higher highs and higher low though. That looks like a very much so bullish divergence. Yeah, we're gonna stay out of the market. Today ain't the day. We only got like a minute left. Let's keep it. Let's keep it G. Let's keep it legit. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. Short trading day. I'm gonna be here till 9:30 tomorrow, but we'll get it popping. So I think the rest of the market continue to push up. We'll see what happens, but we don't have to see what happens with our mental capital. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all be easy.